Welcome to another 15-minute car challenge where Chris and I try and find the best car you can for a certain price point. Today is $20,000 sports cars. Sports cars. All right, the rules are it has to be in the lower 48, so the United States, no Alaska, no Hawaii. And it has to be a sports car. And it has to have some modicum of practicality. So no Dodge Vipers.
Or just straight up race cars.
Sadly, no race cars. You have to be able to put, let's say, a car seat in it somewhere. It can be a two-seater. And we give each other 15 minutes to do that, and we're going to get after it. So really anything goes.
Yeah, we're allowed to use any search engine that we want, Craigslist, AutoTrader, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It just has to be in the United States. If it is on eBay, it has to have a realistic sale price under $20,000. And, yeah, I guess that's it. So if you're ready, we're going to get after it. All right, guys, so we're back. It has been a hair over 15 minutes. Chris and I both found our cars. I don't know what he chose, and he doesn't know what I chose.
So this should be interesting.
Should be interesting. We're hoping we don't have the same car.
Right.
So we're going to judge them on 7 different figures, or 7 different things. And basically what we're going to do is there's going to be a power-to-weight ratio, so horsepower per ton, horsepower per dollar, fuel economy, practicality, looks, overall maintenance, and which of the two is a better handling car. A couple of those are kind of subjective, but hey, I don't care. So on 3, Chris, if you're ready. 1, 2, 3. Shit!
We picked the same car, though.
All right, we picked the same car, but I think Chris got the better one.
Aha!
All right, so I went straight to AutoTrader, which appears to be a bad move.
Yeah.
So what I have here is, and I guess we'll show it on screen, a 2001 Corvette Z06. It is black. It's a 6-speed, but its key is it has 28,000 miles on it. The car is almost brand new. So it's pretty slick, black on black. Chris, if you want to go ahead and say what you got.
So this is I got a 2007 Corvette, so it's a C6 for $19,500. And the one downside to the car is that it has 160,000 miles.
It's an automatic.
It is an automatic, yeah.
Chris loves automatics.
Well, I had the search results for a manual. I don't know how that came up, but it looks really clean.
I like that color blue.
Yeah, it's blue,
black.
Blue on black, yeah.
Blue on black. It's a pretty car.
Definitely has a lot of wear and tear, but I think in terms of, I mean, I looked through the article, and in terms of the actual car itself, it seems like it was really well taken care of. He changes oil every 3,000 miles and that kind of thing.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to break one more time, and we're going to write all this information down that we need to kind of measure them, and kind of go from there. I think this should honestly be pretty interesting because what I thought we were going to do was choose the same exact generation of Corvette.
Right, that's what I was worried about.
But I kind of went a different direction. I went for the higher performance C5, and Chris went for the regular C4, which honestly I think are going to be very close to each other. C6, I'm sorry. And I went for that C5, and they're going to be pretty close because I think that car is actually a little heavier than this car.
Yeah, we'll have to look up what the actual stats are. And stuff.
All right, so if you want to give us, well, really no time because this is YouTube and we're not going to make you watch that. Give us just a couple seconds. We'll be right back.
So after careful consideration, we have found that. Well, I don't know that do we have an overall winner? I think you won.
I don't know. Well, we'll read this off.
Yeah,
we'll read this off one. So the first category is power to weight. So we measure that in horsepower per ton, just so overseas viewers don't complain. And I think you edged me here.
Yeah, 255.4 is where I'm at.
Yeah, and I'm sitting at right around 247 horsepower per ton. So that boils down to Chris got a slightly newer engine in his car that produced 15 more horsepower.
Yeah, 15 or 20.
But
remember.
his car is only 16 pounds heavier than the Z06 was. So as far as like measurable horsepower per ton goes, these cars couldn't be much closer, but old Chach Magoo over here managed to edge me out.
Okay, so dollar per horsepower.
Horsepower per dollar.
Horsepower per dollar is, mine was 48.75.
And mine was 51.93, which would also give Chris the edge.
Yeah, $3.
because he's a. What we got? Fuel economy.
Fuel economy.
Go ahead.
17 miles per gallon in the city, and then 27 miles per gallon on the highway.
I took him here. 19 miles a gallon on the in the city and 28 on the highway. So
there you go.
We tack one up to the old car. And then, all right, so now we're going to move down to overall practicality and looks. So these two things are going to be a draw
Pretty
only
similar,
because
yeah.
we both have the same model of car, and I think we both feel like that. Looks are subjective here a little bit too much because it really just depends on the person. And practicality is going to be almost identical because they're both front engine transaxle hatchback two-seaters. There's as far as like overall practicality goes, they don't get much more similar than this.
I agree. Then we have our
Maintenance.
Yeah.
So
because mine was newer, but it was also much more used. I had 160,000 miles on the one that I found.
Yeah. So his car is going to need.
Yeah. And although a lot of the owner did take care of it, but just to generalize it, I think it would be a good idea to take what the owner done or has done out of it.
Out of the equation. Unless it were like engine out services and stuff, at which point we might be able to take that into account. But the fact that the car that I chose only has 28,000 miles on it really does speak volumes to how long it's sat. I think the only thing that probably needs to be replaced on it is like seals, because they probably sat so long that things have gotten brittle. And then the last metric here would be how well these two cars handled. So for that, we went to Motor Trend because they do metric tests of all the new cars that they bring through, and they put them on a skid pad. And my car did 0.99 G average on the skid pad.
And mine did 0.97 G skid average.
That gave me a little bit of an edge there.
So Phil took that one,
which I ain't complaining about. So Chris took the important ones, but I took the ones that are going to pull out the win. So Chris won in horsepower per dollar and power to weight, which it was still pretty close.
It was.
Actually, I think everything was
very close.
The only thing that I think there was like a margin of victory with was the maintenance, and that's only because your car was
really well used.
Was really well used, yeah. So I think that that about wraps up our first used car or new car or car challenge under whatever the amount of dollars we're doing is. Stick around. We'll see you guys on the next time. I'm Phil.
I'm Chris.
Catch you guys later.